Ayan. So, another condition that we need to understand under existential therapy is of course, syempre, anxiety as a condition of living. So, for anxiety, of course, there are some instances na, yes, we feel anxious. It's normal to feel anxious nowadays kasi nga, syempre, dahil sa nangyayari sa panahong ito. It's normal for you to think about the things that are going to happen kung talagang lumala itong sitwasyon na to. And however, syempre, it's not normal already if it's already affecting your daily life. So, kumbaga, nagiging preoccupied ka na lang sa pagiging anxious mo or sa mga mangyayari sa future. Ayan. So, here, anxiety arises from one's personal strivings to survive. Totoo yun na sometimes, syempre natatakot talaga tayo na may mga times na okay, nakakatakot yun itong panahon na to. Pero of course, we need to maintain as well. Ano? Syempre, anxiety is also essential to maintain and assert one's being. And of course, the feelings anxiety generates are an inevitable aspect of human condition. So, hindi talaga natin maiwasan ang pagiging anxious at some point. However, if we experience existential anxiety, that's a different topic na. So, existential anxiety is the unavoidable result of being confronted with the givens of existence: death, freedom, choice, isolation, and meaninglessness. Let's dive through this topic. So, existential anxiety arises as we recognize the realities of our mortality. Diba? Our confrontation with the pain and suffering, our need to struggle for survival, and our need for fallibility. Okay, so for existential anxiety, first tignan natin yung sa death. And it's inevitable na mawalan tayo ng mahal sa buhay. Masakit. Oo, 'di ba? Let me give you an example na lang para mas madali kong ma-explain. Before my grandmother died, of course, syempre parang ay hindi, siguro matagal pa na mamamatay talaga si Lola, sabi kong ganun. So, marami pa akong pwedeng gawin, I could visit her weekly siguro. Pero then, eventually, the experience happened. Of course, my grandmother died. Yan, isa sa mga mahal ko sa buhay na matay. Ngayon parang, at first, parang, ano ba yan? Anong ginagawa ko? Nasasayangan ako sa mga moments na hindi ko nagawa with her. At the same time, I also miss yung mga experiences ko with her, of course, yung mga ginawa namin nung bata ako, etc., etc. But eventually, of course, syempre, kailangan natin na mag-move on pa rin, no? Of course, we need to move on. Then, of course, it's a part of life na maka-experience ng death sa buhay natin. Sometimes, it makes us anxious. Ano nga bang ginagawa ko sa mundong ito? Ba't pa ako nag-stay dito? However, of course, we have the freedom. Yun, di ba? Yung existence natin is actually, puntahan natin tong freedom na to. Yung existence natin is actually a freedom. A freedom for us to do things that we like, to choose kung ano man yung mga gusto nating gawin, and to choose if we isolate ourselves or to find meaning for our lives. In a way, of course, we need to know that we need to recognize that, yes, existential anxiety may appear to us, pero we could actually control our existence pa rin. So, for normal anxiety, of course, this is an appropriate response to an event being faced because we could not survive without anxiety. Kung nandyan na yung aso na tumatahol sa'yo, at palapit na siya, of course, it's normal for you to be anxious, nakabahan, na iwasan yung asong yun. No? Normal yun. It's a normal way for you to survive. Sabi nga dito sa ating scenario. Pero if the fear is always there, of course, you're already experiencing a phobia. Then, on the other hand, if we have neurotic anxiety is about concrete things that is out of the proportion to the situation. Okay, so for example, and let me read to you this one first. It is typically out of awareness and it tends to immobilize the person. Kaya na sinabi ko nga sa inyo kanina na it is important for us to know, to recognize na anxiety is part of our conditions of living. However, if it's already hindering you from doing your responsibilities, hindi na siya ganun ka-healthy. It might be falling na sa ating neurotic anxiety rather than sa normal anxiety na. Aside from anxiety as a condition of living, we also have awareness of death and non-being. The existentialist does not view death negatively. Ayan, so hindi nila iniisip ang pagkamatay bilang negative na scenario. Although negative naman talaga eh. Although sometimes or for most of us, we actually perceive that as a negative experience. Kasi of course, isang mahal mo sa buhay, possible na namatay. But awareness of death is a basic human condition and it gives more significance sa buhay natin. So, according to them, it is necessary for us to think about death if we are to think significantly about life. Yan, no? So, one focus of existential therapy is on exploring the degree of which clients are doing the things they value. So, for example, siguro you could relate, especially sa mga namatayan or nawalan ng mahal sa buhay. Let me read to you this quotation. Death should not be considered a threat. Death provides the motivation for us to take advantage of appreciating the present moment. Instead of being frozen by the fear of death, death can be viewed as a positive force that enables us to live as fully as possible. Although the notion of death is a wake-up call, it is also something that we strive to avoid. It's very important for us to, yes, to recognize that death is inevitable para sa atin. Pero we should consider death as a motivation for us to live in the present. At the same time, syempre, positively live fully, kumbaga, to live fully and to cherish the moments that we have with our loved ones or yung mga things na gusto nating gawin sa buhay natin. Gaya ng sabi ko kanina, one of the focus in existential therapy is on exploring the degree to which the clients are doing the things they value without being morbidly preoccupied by the ever-present threat of non-being or death. Clients can develop a healthy awareness of death as a way to evaluate how they are living and what changes they want to make in their lives. So, ano nga ba yung possible na pwede nilang gawin in order for them to improve their lives? Those who fear death also fear life. Ayan, no? According to some existentialists, those who fear death also fear life. When we emotionally accept the reality of eventual death, we realize more clearly that our actions do count and that we do have choices and we must accept the ultimate responsibility for how well we are living. Those are the different basic dimensions of human condition. So we have the capacity for self-awareness, the freedom and responsibility, creating one's identity and establishing meaningful relationship with others, the search for meaning, purpose, values, and goals, anxiety as a condition of living, and lastly, awareness of death and non-being. So, let's now go through the existential therapeutic process. The existential therapy ay may mga different goals para sa mga clients natin. I think nabanggit ko na rin yung mga iba doon. Of course, existential therapy is considered as an invitation to clients to recognize the ways in which they are not living fully authentic lives and to make choices that will lead to they're becoming what they are capable of being. Ang main goal natin dito is for us to assist our clients in moving towards authenticity and for them to learn to recognize kung kailan nga ba nila dinideceive yung sarili nila. Here are four essential aims of existential humanistic therapy. Number one is to help clients become more present to both themselves and others. Number two, to assist clients in identifying ways they block themselves and others. Number three, to change or challenge clients to assume responsibility for designing their lives. And lastly, to encourage clients to choose more expanded ways of being in their lives. So basically, we need to increase yung awareness nung mga clients natin, no, in order for us to allow our clients to discover alternative possibilities that exist para sa kanila.